Welcome to TNC, where I spill the tea and we see how we can learn from it. I am your host, TC, and let's start the tea session today titled No Need for a Full Stop. I guess this seventh episode is another one of those episodes which young me really needed to hear and believe in. Friendships, relationships, they are a source of joy and community in our lives. When we're friends with the right people, that is. Sometimes friendships end or fizzle out, and that's totally normal. It's part and parcel of life. But how do we become okay with it? How do we become okay with someone who we really liked hanging out with? Let me start and to spill the tea with a personal anecdote. So we go back in time to when I was around 7 years old. I vividly remember that I had truly believed in my friend when she excitedly told me that we were BFFs and that those three letters meant that we would be best friends forever. You might call me naive for believing her, but can you really blame a young child for believing in fairies and miracles? At the age of 7, forever still seemed like a relatively short time. I had only experienced 7 years of life on this earth, and that was the only amount of time I could even begin to imagine. And so, the promise of forever felt like a really realistic one at that time. It did feel like a promise that could actually be upheld. Now, when did I stop believing in this promise of eternity, you might ask? I remember it being roughly 1.5 years later, at the start of the school year. Can you guess what happened? The answer is that we were put into different classes for the new school year, with the classes decided according to our grades. And suddenly, my BFF now had another girl she was calling her BFF in her class. My BFF was now hanging out with another girl every recess and stopped chatting or playing with me altogether. And that's when I realized it. BFFs doesn't mean best friends forever. It means best friends in the foreseeable future. And the future changes. And suddenly, my BFF was someone else's BFF now, not mine anymore. I believe that a large part of this shock comes from how there can never really be an equal amount of love in any relationship, and that people can show their love in many different ways. A person who feels maybe 5 units of love may make it seem like they feel 1,000 units of love for you on the outside, while on the other hand, you may feel 10 units of love for that person, and that person may only notice and think that you feel 2 units of love for them. Some people exaggerate without really realizing it, and others remember specific words and hold them close to their heart for really long periods of time. Now, when a friendship ends for whatever reason, it can be tempting for some to take the easy way out and ghost their friend to avoid having a conversation altogether. In my opinion, I have read up that some research actually shows that ghosting friends is associated with depressive symptoms. So I hope that you do try to avoid the urge to ghost and be sure to extend compassion to your friend if you want the breakup to go smoothly. Though ghosting is usually not what I personally would feel tempted to do, as I have always felt a need for a full stop, to tell someone that we could be more distant friends from now on. I have even written letters to some of my friends for this exact purpose, knowing that they might not be thrilled with the idea of facing me in person while I tell them about how I feel about our friendship. It can really hurt after all, and they have to control their facial expressions. It's just not a really, it's quite a scary thing. So I do understand how some people might want to avoid that. And as I've mentioned in my previous episodes, although friendship breakups can be just as difficult as romantic breakups, good friends help you be a better person and bring out the best in you. So be sure to remind yourself of that if you start missing the companionship you found in this friend. When you no longer have this person draining your time or energy, you'll have more space, more energy, more time in your life, more opportunities to find friends who do bring out the best in you. And those are the friends you want. When met with the end of a friendship or relationship, I want you to walk away firmly and don't look back. If you go back without the issue being resolved, it will only happen again because you are the same people who would be inclined to do the same things because the issue was never resolved. And then you would get hurt again. So don't do it. And as I was saying, it does make sense that your friend might want to cling on to the friendship for the companionship that you two had. The end of a friendship does leave a gap. It's like stopping a habit. You hang out all the time, you talk to each other all the time, you think of each other all the time. So it's only natural to not be able to suddenly stop caring about someone who you really liked, who you really cared about, and to not be able to suddenly stop thinking about a friend or someone who used to be a friend because you kept thinking about that friend all the time that you were friends. And in some cases, in contrast to how you might miss the friendship, your friend might just never want to talk to you again or give you really bad responses by text in silent hope that you would get the hint or even smile at you in person while spreading rumors about you behind your back. In response, I guess the first step is acceptance. You kind of have to pause for a bit and realize or accept that your friendship or relationship with this person has gone past the point of no return. Many people that I have observed in my life do seem to give mixed signals as a friendship or relationship comes to an end, as for some reason it seems socially inadequate to directly tell someone to their face that you want to end the friendship or that you don't like them. Or maybe there's another common reason that I do not have the mind to vocalize now. Sometimes there is no escaping leaving a relationship open ended, not knowing how the other person feels about it, or not knowing why the relationship ended. And that's what this episode is about. For me, what I do is to cope with it emotionally is I take a mental note of what it is that I don't like about this person when an incident happened to make me decide to cut this person off. For example, recently, and by recently I mean just last week, I overheard some classmates converse excitedly, and upon paying attention to what they said as they were sitting near me, I realized that they were laughing at a literal stranger on the internet for being ugly, which is just plain rude. And do they have nothing better to do with their lives? Do they have nothing else to talk about? Are their lives so boring? So much so that they have to use an innocent stranger's looks as conversation fodder and place a stranger's picture in their chat group? By this part of the semester, I have been interacting with these rude classmates for quite a few weeks now. Previously, I have had conversations with them where they agreed on how a particular someone in their life did something immoral, and I had generalized and thought that they seemed to be nice people because they were agreeing that what's bad is bad. But what I heard last week, this is morally incorrect too. Judging and laughing at an innocent stranger's face? What right did they have to judge another when they are not perfect human beings themselves? What right do you have to judge another even if you are perfect? And looks. Yes, I do understand that liking beautiful things is natural. We all do that. But why throw hate on someone's looks when that person did nothing wrong and it is something that that person was born with? Why spread unnecessary hate? Why do I want to be friends with people who spread hate for no reason? And if you think about beauty, I know it's a sensitive subject, but if you think about it, beauty is subjective too. If everyone were all attractive, we would actually all be ugly at the same time. I would say that these people who say these things are not drop date gorgeous. And you can tell from the fact that they have not been dragged into the beauty industry to become or became an artist on television to earn millions and billions of dollars. And I am not drop dead gorgeous either. So, just as they might have felt superior for laughing at someone's looks, people prettier than them could very well do the same to them too. So, what are they laughing about? What's so funny? What's so great about them feeling a little bit better by laughing at someone who they think is worse off than them in the looks category? So, what makes them better? Why are they having a good laugh out of someone's face? If I were really insecure about my looks, I would definitely harbor a stronger dislike towards them because I would believe that they could very well make fun of me in the exact same way. And if my friend who is not conventionally attractive is there, and I'm saying this with love, okay? I genuinely think that all of my friends are attractive because I don't know, like when I like someone, their face just becomes their whole being just radiates, and good energy is energy, and that is attractiveness as well to me. So all of my friends are pretty, and but like if they are not conventionally attractive and they're sitting next to me and I hear these people, I would get so angry that, and I might even start arguing with them because my friend might not want to. So this is all these words, all these things that I just said. This is what I do to remind myself when I do have to end a friendship or at least distance myself from a person. I first remember the trigger to why I first decided to end the friendship with a certain person. In this case, it would be them being hateful towards a stranger who did nothing. Next, I ask myself why I feel strongly about it. Why does this person's actions make me unhappy? Is it because their actions don't line up with my values? Or did this person spread negativity? Or did this person hurt me or another person for no reason? After figuring out why someone's action or inaction led me to want to end my relationship with a person, I remind myself of all these thought processes whenever I feel tempted to let the close relationship or potentially close relationship with a person drag on. Instead of reminding yourself of all the good times you had with a friend who no longer makes you a better person, remind yourself of why you chose to leave them in the first place. Instead of reminiscing about, oh, I miss having this person in my life, remind yourself, why did you cut them off in the first place? Please remember, only by cutting off your energy towards people who drag you down can you have more energy to give towards becoming a better version of yourself and raising your vibration. Only when friends who make you a worse person are out of your life can your life begin to change for the better. You When you're a gardener, you have to cut off the wilting leaves of a plant so that the plant stops sending energy to that wilting leaf and uses the energy instead to grow new roots and to become a stronger plant with better developed roots. If that is something I would like for you to take away from this episode, it would be a sentence. The sentence goes like this: I would rather adjust my life to your absence than adjust my boundaries to accommodate your disrespect. I'll repeat it again. I would rather adjust my life to your absence than adjust my boundaries to accommodate your disrespect. Because essentially, like, if a friend keeps coming late to your outings, they are disrespecting your time. If you think that they are not disrespecting other strangers, they are also disrespecting human beings. They are also making you feel negative and they are draining your energy. So you don't want that. You have limited energy. Everyone has limited energy. You want to spend your energy on what really matters the most. Okay? So I would like for you to write that sentence down in your diary and look back on it whenever your resolve falters or when the situation pops up and you have to remind yourself of how you want to think about things and mm, allow yourself to look at the future and be on to better things. So just dwell on that for a second. Think about that person you might want to leave in your past. Your life will be so much better without that person. Do it for your future. Do it for you. Only you can do this for yourself. And you can do this. I believe in you. You are going to believe in your decision and move on to better things. So, with this, we have come to the end of my 7th episode about us being okay with commas instead of full stops in friendships and relationships. Do share your experience with open-ended friendships in the comments or habits that you have decided to start after listening to this episode. I really hope that this was useful. Do give me any advice on how you want me to change the way I do my episodes, and I'll consider. I'll be reading your comments. Thank you for coming again. This is the end of this tea session, and I look forward to meeting you again. Until next time, bye bye.